never give the credit for it. But I'm here to say that I know departments are better, other elected officials are better, and most importantly, our city is better because of the work that Ron Galperin and the Comptroller's Office has done.
I think just day in, day out, the dedication and the energy that he brought to the job was just remarkable. And I think he really cares about the city and making things better for folks who need help. And I think it's been an honor to work with him.
I thank God every day that Ron Galperin took a chance on me and hired me. Last year I had an aneurysm burst and I was out of work for almost 3 months. He was there for me every step of the way, not only as a boss, but as a friend. I didn't even understand what a controller was when I applied for the job, but I get it now, and I know how important it is, not only to the city of LA, but to the employees of the city of LA. And he'll be missed. He's done amazing things since he's been in this office. He's changed it, and hopefully it'll just continue to grow and serve the city better and better. I will be staying with the city. I love my city, and I love Ron Galperin. He's a good man.
I congratulate all those who are coming into office in Los Angeles now. There's certainly many challenges ahead for our city. There's so many things that I'm passionate about and that I care about, and I look forward to, in many different ways, continuing to be involved and to make a difference in this city of angels.
Mayor Garcetti, who was in attendance at the Comptroller's lunch, also sat down for a reflection on his career. Stick around for this week's feature story. Have you ever wondered what being a city attorney actually entails? Channel 35 had the chance to sit down with Mike Feuer to reflect on his journey serving Los Angeles. The departing city attorney discussed what led him to this position, some of his career highlights and struggles, and shared his gratitude for being part of a force for good in LA.
Bringing people together, that's what Los Angeles should be about.
I have always focused on trying to lift up people who are vulnerable, to try to stand up for folks who are being ripped off, and to make the world better. As a lawyer, I've had a lot of opportunities in my life to do that kind of work. Those values really led me to want to be the city attorney so I could take the ideals of pursuing justice to the level of being able to represent the entire city of Los Angeles. I was very proud of our work in the Wells Fargo case that transformed banking forever, where we targeted Wells Fargo in the fake account scandal. In the pandemic, our office was, I think, the most impactful public law office in the United States in combating fake tests and preventions and cures, price gouging, a whole array of matters that we brought to the fore that really protected public health. I'm very proud of our leadership on gun violence prevention, both here and nationally. I was the co-founder and co-chair of Prosecutors Against Gun Violence, the first ever national coalition of prosecutors focused on combating gun violence. Spoken at the White House. We worked across the nation to get guns out of the hands of domestic abusers and grapple with the issue of ghost guns. I'm really proud of our criminal justice reform work, where we've been able to take a look at how we can transform the lives of offenders and reduce repeat offenses. I never thought, when I ran for city attorney, that we would be at odds with the federal government. But that's in fact where we found ourselves when the Trump administration first took office. When the Muslim travel ban first took effect. It was a Saturday evening, and I realized that around the country there was havoc at airports, and at our airport, at LAX. And I didn't know what exactly my plan would be, but I knew I had to go to the airport where people, because of their religion, were being detained, because it felt like our country was slipping away. I wanted to speak to the top Trump official who was in charge of that effort, and he wouldn't talk to me. I said to him, I want to see the detainees. He said, you can't do that. How many are there? Not at liberty to say. Where are they? I can't tell you. I've never been so angry in my professional life. But the next morning, just a few hours later, we had a number of lawyers in my office prepared to sue the Trump administration. We were active again and again. We won a very important lawsuit that prevented the Trump administration from forcing LAPD to be complicit in civil immigration enforcement. We were active in trying to preserve the DACA program, the Temporary Protective Status program. We were one of the key litigants in the census litigation when the Trump administration tried to make the census as ineffective as possible because it knew that it would diminish LA's political representation and resources if they were to prevail. On just so many different levels, I think our office has been a force for good in Los Angeles, and that's why I ran for city attorney in the first place.
In our feature story this week, our own Maria Hall Brown sits down with Eric Garcetti, 42nd mayor of the city of Los Angeles. The exiting mayor discusses what drew him to this executive position, some of the takeaways from his time in office, and his biggest career challenges, including the handling of the COVID-19 pandemic. Let's hear the story.
I am delighted to be joined by a classically trained pianist, an actor, but more importantly, the wonderful 42nd mayor of the city of Los Angeles, Eric Garcetti. So nice to have you here. I had no idea that you were a classically trained pianist.
My great-grandparents played the piano. My grandparents on my mom's side met in piano school, and my mom played. So I was just kind of continuing the family tradition. And while I've been mayor, I've kept a piano in my office for almost the entire 9.5 years.
9 years being the mayor. Obviously, there are an enormous amount of things that you could have not have predicted, pandemics, et cetera. But walking into the job, have there been things that you expected, and did it live up to your expectations?
When I was running for office, I never pictured it. I kind of waited till I was here on day one. Obviously, the building was familiar. 12 years I had served as a local public servant. So you have to be ready to run 41 departments. You have to be comfortable being an executive. This was my first executive position, and I loved being an executive because the speed with which you can act is just so different. I'm ambitious about policy, and I want to know everything. It's my nature. Don't just tell me 2 things I'm going to do as mayor. I want to do things in all 41 departments and multiple things in each. Green New Deal that has over 460 pledges in it. Looking at understanding how the street paving material gets made and what the impact is on the environment. Understanding how our Department of Water and Power actually functions, the supply chain issues that you learn in the Port of LA. Each one of those could be a huge job just on its own, let alone when you're supposed to be the chief executive.
And then March of 2020, the rug got pulled out from under every plan anybody could have made. Obviously, we saw you were visible daily, briefing the city on what was going on. What were your days behind the camera like? What was it really like in the mire of everything that was going on?
I have to say it is the toughest time I've ever lived through, and one of the proudest times in terms of the work that the team here in the city of Los Angeles did. The risk that we took, the communication that we did in this room, 100 briefings, prime time on every channel, English, then take a breath and do it in Spanish, and then answer everyone's questions. Mobilizing tens of millions of dollars of private donations, lobbying the feds and the state government to do the same thing and to help save us, and making really scary decisions. And I think the lesson I learned was you have to accelerate. Don't wait for somebody else to make decisions in a crisis.
Are you going to miss the job?
Yeah, of course I will. This has been the best job one could have. It's the toughest job you could ever have, and it's the best job you can ever have. And it's a paradox because of that. To imagine myself 10 or 20 years from now acting today, did I make the right decision today for what the city needed then? But for the most part, I've tried to realize that most of the things you do are not about the criticism of today or the headlines of tomorrow. They're really about how the chapter looks back some 20 years from now.
Get into the festive spirit at the Pacoima Holiday Parade. Enjoy the Nutcracker Live at the Warner Grand Theater. Or join in the fun at the Chatsworth Holiday Parade and Festival. All this up next on Things to Do.
Join in the holiday season revelry as folks in the Northeast San Fernando Valley kick off the most wonderful time of the year. Don't miss Pacoima's very own time-honored holiday parade as it proudly returns for its 55th year. Sponsored by Councilwoman Monica Rodriguez, this parade has something for everyone. Beautiful equestrian groups trot down the parade route along with souped-up cars decked out with holiday cheer. Local service groups as well as celebrities ride along the streets with Santa Claus himself officially ringing in the holiday season. Join in the holiday festivities Saturday, December 10th, beginning at 9:45 a.m. For more info, check out cd7.lacity.org/events or visit @Pacoima Holiday Parade on Facebook. Don't let the holiday season slip by without seeing the ballet that defines this time of year, the Nutcracker. Presented by the San Pedro City Ballet, LA's Department of Cultural Affairs, and the Port of LA, this performance of the Nutcracker will light that unforgettable spark in your holiday traditions. Join Clara on a snowy Christmas Eve as she travels on a dreamlike journey where toy soldiers, a mouse king, and a Nutcracker turned prince come to life. This time the story set to Tchaikovsky's score is so magical, it's worth retelling every year. Don't miss out on the must-see show of the holiday season at the Warner Grand Theater. The Nutcracker runs from Friday, December 9th through Sunday, December 11th. For times and tickets, check out sanpedrocityballet.org. The Chatsworth Holiday Parade and Festival returns as they celebrate this year's theme, Hometown Holidays. Community volunteers create Christmas magic as the parade and festival come alive with the sights and sounds of the holidays for a fun-filled day of merriment. In a breathtaking flyover, World War II planes will take to the sky, while marching bands, dancing, clowns, and live performances keep the crowd's holiday spirits up at ground level. The festivities continue after the parade with more holiday food and entertainment at the Chatsworth Holiday Festival. The Chatsworth Holiday Parade and Festival, sponsored by Councilmember John Lee, is on Sunday, December 11th, beginning at noon. All the information you need about the festival is at chatsworthholidayparade.org. And that's a look at some things to do.
That's it for this edition. I'm Ann Police. From all of us here at LA This Week, thank you so much for joining us. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacityview.org. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. See you next time for more LA This Week.
Did you know the average LA resident uses about 89 gallons of water each day? Challenge yourself to conserve. Turning off the faucet when you brush saves up to 10 gallons of water. Taking a 5-minute or less shower saves up to 15 gallons of water. Washing only full loads of laundry saves up to 30 gallons of water. And fixing a running toilet can save up to 50 gallons of water. Keep it in mind all day, every day. It's water conservation the LA way.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this meeting of the Los Angeles City Council. Today is Friday, December 2nd, 2022. I am Paul Krikorian, President of the City Council, and we're ready to begin. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Blumenfield, Bonin, Buscaino, Cedillo, De Leon, Harris Dawson, Hutt, Koretz, Krikorian, Lee, O'Farrell, Price, Rahman, Rodriguez. 10 members present and a quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you. The woman who is standing in the aisle is instructed to sit down. There will be no disruptions of this meeting. I'm going to let everybody in the audience know that this council meeting will proceed. There will be no shouting, whistling, clapping, using noisemakers, or in any other way disrupting this meeting. Everyone is going to be provided with this general warning. And if disruptions continue, you will be excluded from the meeting pursuant to Council Rule 12. If that happens, you will then be subject to Council Rule 7 thereafter. So I expect this meeting to proceed in an orderly fashion, and that is how it will happen. So, Madam Clerk, first order of business.
Approval of the minutes of November 30th, 2022.
Councilmember O'Farrell moves. Councilmember Blumenfield seconds. Next.
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
You're instructed to be silent, sir. I'm warning you personally, you were instructed to be silent. Where were we, Madam Clerk?
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
All right. Councilmember Koretz moves. Councilmember Rodriguez seconds. Next.
Mr. President, would council like all items to go forthwith today?
Without objection, that'll be the order.
There is a request to hold item 26 on the desk.
All right. Without objection, that will be the order.
Items 1 through 8 are items for which public hearings have been held. Items 9 through 26 are items for which public hearings have not been held. 10 votes are required for consideration.
You're instructed to sit down. Sit down if you wish to continue to... Okay, she's not complying with my instruction. She's ordered excluded from this meeting.
So you've been ordered removed. Please leave quietly.
She's ordered excluded. Mr. Reedy, no conversations with me. That is disruptive. There will be no disruptions of this meeting.
So if the person that was ordered to leave doesn't do so immediately, I think we should order her removed. And I believe you did so, Mr. President.
Yes, I did.
So,
sir, you are ordered removed from this meeting. You've been warned, and this is your second disruption of the meeting. You are ordered removed. Sir, you are ordered removed. You're ordered removed. You're continuing to disrupt this meeting. You will leave silently and immediately. You are ordered removed. Pursuant to Council Rule 12, and the person who is standing next to him, please sit down. Whoever is ridiculously using a noisemaker right now is ordered removed from this meeting as well for continuing to disrupt this meeting.
So the woman with the cowbell is the person we've already ordered removed. And
ma'am, you are ordered removed from the meeting. Please leave immediately.
And
stop disrupting this meeting. You are ordered removed.
So again, sorry to the
audience. Two people on the left who are standing, I'm going to ask you to sit down, please. Sit down and listen to the meeting silently.
And so our apologies it's taking so long. The people who are ordered removed are barely moving as they walk backwards out the chamber. And
Sir, sit down and be silent.
So the president's referring to the gentleman in the black T-shirt with the FCB, I think it says on the front.
Yes.
Please be quiet. And the fellow who is being escorted out by the police are still shouting. And the cowbell is still going off, of course.
To the people of Los Angeles who are waiting for the council meeting to begin, I apologize again for the disruption that happens from a few people who want to come here and stop this meeting from going forward. I assure you that will not happen. This meeting will go forward.
And they're still shouting as they leave. So all three of those people who are walking backwards and arguing with the sergeants as they do so.
And just for the record, for people who may be hoping to be able to observe the council meeting, the same two people who were ordered excluded still have not left the meeting and are still shouting in the back of the room.
Yeah. And
so the meeting cannot proceed because of their shouting and their use of a cowbell. They are actually disrupting this meeting.
Just in case the mics aren't picking this up, it's actually somewhat difficult for me to hear you, Mr. President, and I'm sitting about 5 feet from you.
Ma'am, sit down and silently observe this meeting, or else you'll be ordered excluded. Sit down and be silent. This meeting is not going to be disrupted. You've already been warned, man. You are ordered excluded from this meeting.
So, sergeants, the president has ordered the woman in the black jacket and the blue shirt that continued to make noise to leave quietly, and she hasn't done so. She's ordered removed.
Again, to the members of the public who actually would like to participate in the Los Angeles City Council meetings, I apologize for this disruptive delay. So the woman who's being removed now will be, in fact, the two people who are being removed now will be subject to Council Rule 7 if they return and disrupt again.
And both of the people are shouting as they leave.
And the disruption continues even after they've been ordered excluded. Sir, you are ordered to be silent.
And they're still shouting as they leave. So, unfortunately, we're still delayed.
All right, Madam Clerk, items 1 through 8 you mentioned are items for which public hearings have been held. Items 9 through 26 are items for which public hearings have not been held. Which items are now before us for a vote?
Would any members like to call any of those items special, sir?
Mr. Blumenfield.
Yeah, I'd like to call item 1 for comment, please. Special.
Okay, item 1. Members, any other specials? I'd like to also call item 26 special. Mr. Koretz. Whoever's shouting now is ordered removed from the meeting. Please take them out.
So,
Okay, so that is Mr. Khan is ordered removed from the meeting and will be subject to Council Rule 7. And he's continuing to shout profanity as he leaves the room. Have a nice day, sir.
So Mr. Khan's still shouting as he leaves. And I'm sure there are people, Mr. President, who are, trying to dial in and to give public comment, and we have this in the room preventing us from doing so.
All right, and as for item 4, I'll be moving the Budget and Finance Committee's report.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second on that motion?
Okay, any other specials, members? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, which items are now before us?
Thank you. The council may now vote on items 2 through 3 and 5 through 8.
All right, those items are now before us. Let's go ahead and open the roll. Close the roll. Tabulate the votes.
11 ayes.
If preferred, the council may also now adopt item 4, motion Krikorian Price.
To the gentleman in the blue jacket, do not disrupt this meeting. I'm sorry, Madam Clerk, I couldn't hear what you said.
The council may also now adopt item number 4, Krikorian Price motion to move the Budget and Finance Committee report.
All right, that matter is now before us. Let's go ahead and open the roll. Close the roll. Tabulate the votes.
11 ayes.
Okay, is there anything else that we can vote on before us now, Madam Clerk?
No.
And we're ready to go to public comment?
Yes.
So if you could please, we'll be taking public comment both virtually and in person for those who've signed up to speak in person today. So if you could, before we take those who are here in chambers, if you could read out the call-in information for those who wish to participate by phone.
Thank you. As indicated on the agenda, members of the public wishing to offer public comment should call 669-254-5252 and use meeting ID number 160-535-8466 and then press pound. Then press pound again when prompted for participant ID. Once admitted into the meeting, press *9 to request to speak. When it is your turn to speak, an automated Zoom voice will ask you to press *6 to unmute. Let me repeat, call 669-254-5252 and use meeting ID number 160-535-8466 and then press pound. Then press pound again when prompted for participant ID.
I'm sorry, Madam Clerk, I can't hear you. The gentleman standing up right now is ordered excluded from this meeting pursuant to Council Rule 12. Please, sergeants, escort him to the door. Sir, please leave the meeting silently and quickly so we can get on with our business. You're ordered excluded and you're subject to Council Rule 7 as well. So is the woman next to him, is ordered excluded from this meeting pursuant to Council Rule 12. Remove them from the chambers immediately, please.
So for
clarity, in case the sergeants couldn't hear me over the shouting, they are both ordered excluded pursuant to Council Rule 12.
And that's the man in the black T-shirt and the woman in the kind of teal jacket. So they were both warned, I think, multiple times. They were asked to leave quietly. They didn't do it. They've been removed and are subject to Council Rule 7. And they're shouting as they leave. And just for the record, in case the mic doesn't pick this up, both of them are shouting quite loudly as they leave, and as they walk backwards slowly, keeping the council from doing its business. And this may be a good example to give of how loud they actually are. So when the clerk was reading in the call-in information, The clerk is sitting a foot from me. I could not hear what she was saying.
Yeah, and neither can the members of the public who would actually like to provide real public comment. So that's, exactly why these disruptions cannot be tolerated, because we have to let the public participate in this council meeting. So, Madam Clerk, if you could, again, try to start again and read in the call-in information so people at home will be able to participate.
Thank you. That would be to call 669-254-5252 and use meeting ID number 160-535-8466, and then press pound. Then press pound again when prompted for participant ID. Once admitted into the meeting, press star 9 to request to speak. When it is your turn to speak, an automated Zoom voice will ask you to press star 6 to unmute. Thank you.
So for members of the public calling in, when it's your turn to speak, or when you come up to the podium in the room, please state which of the agenda items you'd like to speak on. You have 1 minute per item to speak, up to 3 minutes total, and if you wish, 1 minute for general public comment. Please speak to the items before beginning general public comment. We'll tell you when your time's up. When speaking on the agenda items, you must be on topic. Our goal is to get through as many speakers as we can. If you're not on topic, or if we can't tell whether you're on topic, you'll get one brief warning from me or the president. At that point, you need to get clearly, immediately on topic. If you don't, or you can stray off topic, you'll forfeit the rest of your speaking time and we'll move on to the next speaker. The items that are open for public comment are items 9 through 26.
So, Sergeants, there are 6 people standing up on my left who are all shouting. They are all ordered removed pursuant to Council Rule 12. Please remove them from the room.
So you've been ordered to
You
leave
are all
quietly.
instructed to leave the room silently.
And so just for
I've
the record,
instructed them to leave the room silently, and they're still shouting. So let's go ahead and have them removed. They are subject to Council Rule 7.
and they're chanting as they leave. And they're still chanting as they leave.
And to the callers who would like to offer public comment again, I sincerely apologize that you are being delayed in your ability to provide public comment and participate in your local government by the handful of people here who insist on trying to disrupt this meeting, every single meeting. It won't be tolerated, and I can assure you we will get to your comment shortly.
Thank you, Mr. President. As I was saying, the items that are open for public comment are items 9 through 26. That's 9 through 26. For people calling in, as you were told, when it's your turn to speak, you'll be prompted to press *6 to unmute yourself. If you don't do so, council staff will prompt you once more, usually by reading off the last 4 digits of your phone number. At that point, you need to immediately press *6 and unmute yourself and tell us which items you want to speak on, or unfortunately, you'll forfeit your speaking time and we'll move on to the next speaker. We understand for people dialing that you may be listening to the meeting on multiple devices, channel 35, computer, but when it's your turn to speak, please turn down the volume on those devices right away. There's a time delay between the live meeting and the broadcast. Because of that and feedback, it really causes a great deal of confusion if you're listening on multiple devices. Also, if you're dialing in, please keep one ear to the phone. Because of the time delay, we want you to hear in real time when it's your turn to press *6 to unmute yourself. If just listening on another device because of the time delay, you may not hear us in time, and unfortunately, we may pass over you and you forfeit your speaking time. So with that, Mr. President, I believe we're ready to begin with people or public speakers in the room.
Thank you, Mr. City Attorney. For those who are here in the room who'd like to offer public comment, please, if you haven't already done so, go ahead and sign up in the kiosks in the back. And our first public speaker will be Dr. Truth Bay, who will be followed by Amanda Sarin.
And when you get to the podium, Dr. Truth, just know which items you signed up for.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. It's been a hot minute. So I'm signing up for all agenda items, public comment.
Okay, so that's 3 minutes for items 9 through 26, followed by a minute for general. Please begin.
Okay, so starting with the Public Assisted Trust Fund. So you have, let's go over this briefly. CD1, Public Trust Fund 889, CD6, PB50C, CD8, Public Trust Fund 49F, which has, $2 million remaining, 2.9. CD9, Public Trust Fund 48X, that's current price, so you have about $2.9 million remaining. CD10, not much, but what is shocking to me most of all is CD11, Bonin. You have a Public Trust Fund 50B, only has like $1,000.50 in there. I'm not understanding why there's so much different amounts for different districts, but I'm concerned as to where's the transparency or where this public trust fund is going. Is it going to be another Brett Favre situation that we have here? Number 22, this agenda item, the Los Angeles Housing Department with the ERAP funds, sole contract is with Housing Initiative at Penn, also known as HIP. They're located in Pennsylvania. I just want the public to know that you have a $27 million contract with a data analyst organization in Pennsylvania. So you don't even trust to recruit an LA county or city-based data analyst organization to provide services for you. You have to go to Pennsylvania. Oh, I don't know. For 2023, is it still my public comment, or is it still my 3 minutes for the agenda items?
It's 3 minutes for the agenda items. If you want to go into general, you can.
No, I'm not finished with the agendas because they are ridiculously hilarious how we're pushing all these public trust funds with no public input, no community impact statement. It's self-serving. And so I'm hoping that we do something different in 2023. One of the main things I like to see is Karen Bass sit in that seat, Mr. Krikorian, AKA Kardashian. Some of the things that I witnessed for the last year and a half has been appalling, where you don't even allow public input on some of the agendas that you're speaking on. I like to see Karen Bass there since, you know, she looks like me. I don't see why LA City's any different. Yeah, I'm going into public. I only got 9 seconds, Pablo.
No,
just calm down.
You have a minute, actually, for general, so please.
Yes, I'm aware of that. I appreciate it. Now, we had submitted a hate crime when I believe a couple of months ago, Buscaino, we spoke about Harbor Gateway Neighborhood Council being called a bunch of niggers and stuff. Mike Führer stated that that was free speech, not hate speech. So I'm hoping the elected city attorney coming in would consider anti-Semitism the same way, the same energy that they would call us negative words, inequity. Do I have a minute? Can you set up the clock for? Okay. In rounding off, it is power to the people. I want you guys to have your children here. Heather Hunt, your 3 sons, I would like to see them here in the city council. Some of them don't even have kids. I want to see our youth replace this city council. It's getting old and self-serving. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Truthbay.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Amanda Sarin, who will be followed by Doug Haynes. If we could have Amanda Sarin come on up. I don't see anybody coming to the podium, so we'll go next to Doug Haynes.
Mr. Haynes, are you here? Yes,
he's on his way up. And Mr. Haynes will be followed by people who only signed up with the initials R1 and R2.
Mr. Haynes, which items had you signed up for?
I believe I signed up for item number 17 and also general public comment.
Very good. So you have a minute for each. Please begin.
Thank you very much. First off, may I recommend that the Public Works Room be set up for public comment in order to alleviate the problems I've experienced with you today. On item
I'm sorry, excuse me, Mr. Haynes. Dr. Truthbay, you're disrupting the meeting. Dr. Truthbay, you are disrupting the meeting.
So Dr. Truthbay.
Excuse me. Excuse me, you are disrupting the meeting, and I'm instructing you to stop disrupting the meeting. Final warning. Okay, the man in the hat has been previously warned. He's ordered excluded from the meeting pursuant to Rule 12 for disrupting the meeting. So is Dr. Truthbay.
Yeah, so the president has ordered the guy in the multicolored hat to leave, and he's not, so he's removed, and the same with Dr. Truthbay. Sorry, Mr. Haynes, we'll give you all your time when you come back.
Dr. Truthbay, you're continuing to disrupt the meeting, and I'm instructing you to leave the meeting.
All right, so Dr. Truthbay is still shouting.
She's disrupting the meeting. Pursuant to Rule 12, the council cannot proceed with its business because Dr. Truthbay is shouting at the top of her lungs even after completing her public comment. You are ordered excluded.
Please leave, Dr. Truthbay. You've been ordered removed.
Mr. Haynes, I apologize that your public comment is being delayed by this disruption, this continuing disruption, and I apologize again to everyone who's called in and wishes to provide public comment.
So, so the gentleman in the white shirt.
Mr. Patel, sit down and be silent. Stop disrupting the meeting.
Dr. Truthbay is still shouting and keeping the meeting from proceeding. Mr. Patel, please be quiet. Okay, and Dr. Truthbay is still shouting on the way out. And the gentleman in the multicolored hat who has been ordered removed, now he's shouting all the way out. Loudly. Sorry, Mr. Haynes, and to everybody at home.
To Mr. Haynes and the entire city of Los Angeles waiting for this meeting to proceed, sorry that we have to be delayed so that the one person who's been ordered excluded can continue to shout his comments.
The gentleman's still shouting all the way out. So the gentleman is arguing all the way out, moving and delaying our meeting. All All right, he's still shouting. So the gentleman's still shouting as he moves very slowly out.
And for the record, if I didn't say so, the last two people who were excluded pursuant to Council Rule 12 will also be subject to Council Rule 7.
So I believe we were with Mr. Haynes.
Yes, Mr. Haynes, let's give this another try. Reset the clock, please, for Mr. Haynes.
Yeah.
And which items would you like to speak on, sir?
Item number 17 and also general public comment, if I may.
You have a minute for each. Please begin, Mr. Haynes.
2 minutes total?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
There'll be a slight beep in between.
Okay.
Go ahead.
The problem is all of us are dismissed as kooks because of this, and it really is frustrating because I'm afraid now you're not going to listen to anything I have to say. On 17, I just wanted to point out that the city stopped funding the graffiti reward fund years ago and has never funded the illegal dumping reward. Even when the graffiti reward was funded, it was almost impossible to claim, as a suspect had to be arrested and prosecuted for the reward to be granted. Meanwhile, the city is spending millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars on doing cleanup. In contrast, 5 years ago, the neighbors on my block and I banded together. We put in 83 cameras to address the illicit activity going on at a cost of over $60,000. In comparison, the city of LA, the entire city, only has 19 cameras for illegal dumping. I would ask that the reward fund actually be funded so that people can have this money for a good purpose, like our neighborhood has. We've been very beneficial for the police and others to find out who have been perpetrators of these crimes. On general public comment, I wanted to point out that last Tuesday there was a special...
Please
let me
continue.
start again. Last Tuesday there was a special meeting of the Planning and Land Use Management Committee, which had on its agenda the proposed processes and procedures section of the Recode LA. The proposed planning code changes have been touted as being simple language changes to make the code easier for the public to understand. This is unfortunately not the case. The proposed changes would transfer a tremendous amount of authority from the City Council to the Director of Planning, in addition to allowing alternative findings that go for benefit, not findings of fact, instead of hardship as well, and changing some various requirements to adjustments. The community has raised serious concerns over the proposed changes, and the leading voice in opposition has in fact been your newly elected city attorney, Heidi. This matter is too important to be just placed on a consent vote before the new elected council is seated. I would ask, and others have asked, that it be delayed until the new council members and other elected officials are put in place so it can be seriously considered, as it will affect us all. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Gaines.
Thank you very much. We'll take next speakers who signed up with the initial R1, followed by R2, followed by Candido.
Okay, so one of the people is coming up now.
Sí, buenos días. Voy a necesitar más de 2 minutos, por favor. Aquí estoy para denunciar al Distrito 5 y a la fiscal Verónica de la Cruz por el odio de racismo que hay contra mujeres latinas. Tengo 14 police reports y tengo
momentito,
3 peticiones, por favor.
Espérate un momentito.
Tengo 3 posiciones.
Wait. I don't want to have simultaneous translation. Please ask her to pause so that the interpreter can translate as she pauses. Please don't do the simultaneous translation because it's very hard to.
Sí, gracias.
If we could start her time over again, please.
Ya, señora, puede empezar.
Sí, tengo 3 peticiones, 5 peticiones para los concejales. Por favor, que me ayuden. Ya saben
I have 5 petitions for the council members for them to please help me.
Ya que ustedes ya saben mi problema el odio de racismo que existe en el Distrito 5, con 14 police report que tengo de la policía de Los Ángeles que no me ayudó.
Since you already know about the problem I have with the 14 police reports that I have, but it didn't help.
Que me regrese en mi casa en 24 horas ya que yo y mi hija no tenemos en dónde vivir, que quiten la orden de restricción.
For them to return my house to me since we don't have a place to live, and for them to remove the restriction order.
De la policía que me tiene amenazada que si regreso a mi casa me van a arrestar todas mis cosas.
Police has threatened me that if I go back to my house, they're going to arrest me.
Ya que todas mis cosas siguen en la propiedad hasta este momento.
Since all my things are still in the property at this
Y
moment.
de mi menor hija.
And my daughter, who's a minor.
Que remuevan al tenant que tienen los vecinos rentando mi casa con todas mis cosas para que no saque.
For them to remove the tenant that my neighbors have renting my house with all my things in there.
Mi hija, y el juez me dijo que como la policía tuvo la culpa de sacarme en la corte ya que ya demandé a los vecinos.
The judge said since the police was at fault for removing me because I reported the neighbors.
La ciudad tiene la obligación de darme el abogado para que pueda continuar mis casos de la corte.
The city has the obligation of providing me an attorney so that I can continue my case in court.
Y que los concejales puedan aprobar los $900 que se deben de behind payments por culpa de los policías que me sacó de mi propiedad, aunque yo tengo todos los documentos legales. Aquí les dejo los 70 páginas que tengo que es mi propiedad y que me sacaron sin ninguna autorización la policía de Los Ángeles por el odio de racismo y que hay en contra de las mujeres y también.
Gracias.
Gracias.
And the councils to pay me back the $900 which I spent, and the attorney has told me that they have to do that, and because I was removed for the racism case I have.
Gracias. I believe Candido is next.
And Sergeant, can you wait just 1 second, Candido. Sergeant, I think she had some items that she wanted to present to us, if you could take those from her, please. Receive those from her.
That has to do with disaster, is that correct, sir?
So,
This is your time, Mr. Candido.
Yes, but I need a definite, otherwise I'll be cut off.
So, just for the record, it's a CAO report regarding the Disaster Assistance Trust Fund. So which items did you want to speak on, Mr. Candido?
That and 17 and public comment.
Okay, so you have 2 minutes for those items, followed by a minute for general. Please begin.
Thank you. You know what? How do we define disasters? There's many disasters. One of the greatest and most horrific was what happened with slavery and the injustice that took place with the African American community. That's why I believe in the governor's reparation program, and I hope that we can follow through that and make that really happen. In regards to item 17, graffiti, you know, one of the things that people don't realize is that LAPD has done a wonderful job with that. And if we look back at history and we look back into the, especially with Greg Smith and Mr. Burnson, they had programs, and they were part of the Jeopardy program, and part of that was graffiti removal. And a lot of those kids went on to college and are married and doing very, very well today. So we need to put more focus on working with the kids, getting them into program. The last thing we need to do is get these, put these kids in jail. If you connect them with the police department, they end up having a wonderful relationship. They become good citizens, they become Marines, they become teachers, etc. And that's the program that we need to really funnel through the LAPD. Public comment?
Sure, absolutely.
Public comment. What's the difference between a gun and a car? They're the same thing. They can both kill you and they can kill in masses. If any of you saw the highway patrolman chase the other night, and this guy's going 150 miles an hour, and all of a sudden this CHP pulls up next to him, and he's stunned, and he takes off again, and he tries to get to 150. Who's there? CHP. Law and order won that day. The public won that day. The residents of the city, of this great city, won that day. So again, when I look around and I see you officers doing a great job, and Mr. Bobble, please don't antagonize people by saying, well, let's push them a little faster. Every time they are patient and good and kind with these people, because they have a right to speak and they have a right to be heard. But if you're trying to antagonize the officers for trying to get them to push faster, don't, because that's a lawsuit in the future. They've done a great job. Let's support them. And, you know, it's something we have to all do working together.
Thanks, Mr. Candido.
Thank you. Okay. Is Pete Brown here? Mr. Brown can come and speak if he's here. I didn't see him. Okay. Ankur Patel.
Which items did you sign up for, Mr. Patel?
I'll do item 13, the Public Assistance Trust Fund in CD 13. I know some of the items already got pulled off. I wanted to talk about 3, the report on overtime, the LAPD overtime report. Item number 3, can I speak on that?
So we actually voted on item 3, but you can
you
talk
voted
about
to
it.
pass the overtime for the police, right. Can I speak on item number 9, the Disaster Trust Fund?
You may indeed.
And public comment as well?
Sure, so we'll set the clock for 2 minutes, followed by a minute for general. And
Is
if you
my
want
maximum 3, or is there another item I could talk on to get to 4 minutes?
you can speak on any items between 9 and 26.
I'll just take my 2 minutes and try to get this business going faster than usual. The first time I spoke here from the podium of the people, public comment here at City Hall, in these not so accessible meetings where this podium allows people from here to articulate their perspectives, and what gives it is power, is that you, the city council members, listen. Sometimes you don't want to. Sometimes it's confrontational, but the people are here to try and get something out of government to contribute. Myself today, one of the things that I'm really concerned about is public transit. I waited at the bus at the Orange Line in Chatsworth at 8:30. Guess what? The bus didn't come. The bus didn't come, 20 minutes late, right off the bat. Hence, when you jump into a city council meeting and you don't know what's going on, who's already spoken, you lose track. We are in a continuum that is shifting, right? The new left and the impact it's had.
So, Mr.
That's
Patel,
general comment.
That was general, right? I was going to say. So we'll set the clock for 2 minutes, and then you need to stick to items 9 through 26.
And so I'll go to the Disaster Trust Fund, item 9. It's nice to have some resources when a disaster strikes. Is this the earthquake? I didn't get into all the details. And it's always difficult to articulate so many complicated ideas in a compressed time when some people are whispering. It's your choice. You got other things to do. You important people, even the audience, right? The city can't pay attention to every word coming, and it gets difficult. But this disaster fund and how it's used and how it can be connected with all the other institutions. The Metro is another one that hopefully we have more partnership with. There's a disaster, right? The government feels like a disaster because so many people are not participating. We don't know how it's going on, where the money is going, what is this fund going to be used for, how can people plug into it. Hopefully LAUSD, public institutions can plug into this. I'll give my time back to get the business of the city moving.
Thank you, Mr. Patel.
Thank you, Mr. Patel. Oops. All right. Is Mr. Otsoy here? Come on up, sir.
And which items had you signed up for, Mr. Matoya?
General comment, please.
Good. So you have a minute. Please begin.
Good morning.
On March 24 at Echo Park, fucking Mitch sent the terrorized Echo Park. These pigs in blue. Mitch gave $2 million in 2 days, but he has no fucking $1 for our people, my people that are dying out there waiting for a bottle of water. Is that what you call justice? Is it? Just look at these fucking terrorists, fucking blue, pigs blue. I myself have been in jail, false accused, not once, twice in jail. Why? Because I'm activist, because I'm opening the eyes and ears of the people.
Thank you, Mr. Matoya.
Is that a crime? Is it? No, it's not a crime, but according to all of you, it is.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Your time has expired, sir. Okay. Thank you. Have a seat, sir. Have a seat. Have a seat. You've had your say. All right. There's a number of obviously silly false names that have been signed up, so which I'm not going to call. But you can go ahead and come on up and comment, sir. Would you like to speak, sir? Sir, would you like to speak? Would you like to come to the podium and speak?
So,
no, it's not your prerogative to engage in conversation with us. It's your prerogative to come to the podium and speak. Start the time. Start 1 minute of time. You can do it from there.
Now there is. John Lee just came back into the building. What's ridiculous is that Monica Rodriguez is standing right here, sitting down with KDL staff. That's who you like to associate with. Other races, right? So, are y'all working to get KDL back into the building? Is that what you're doing right now, Monica? With Jennifer Barraza as chief of staff. I've actually saw 5 of his staff members in here last week, and now you have 5 empty rows. Why do you have 5 empty rows, Paul Krikorian? To claim capacity? To claim capacity, right? It's absolutely ridiculous that you guys want to continue on with business as usual. The expansion of 4118 zones, giving more money to LAPD. All this for what? You told us that anti-blackness wouldn't be welcome in this room anymore. But you have chambers that are named after John Ferraro. Do you city council members know who John Ferraro is?
Thank you,
your time
sir.
has expired.
Thank you, sir. Your time has expired. Your time has expired.
So
now
Matt-
you're disrupting the meeting. I'm going to order you to be silent and stop disrupting the meeting. You're not complying with my orders. You're ordered excluded under Council Rule 12, and you were already subject to Council Rule 7 because of your disruption yesterday. So, you're ordered removed from the meeting. You are ordered removed from the meeting, and you are subject to Council Rule 7.
So you were warned, you continued disrupting, you were asked to leave, and now you're ordered removed. And he's shouting very loudly.
Just for the record, to demonstrate how far we're going, he was shouting from the podium, and I considered it public comment and gave him a minute to shout. But your time is now expired, sir, and you need to leave this meeting. You are ordered to leave the meeting, and you are subject to Council Rule 7 because of your previous disruptions as well. Ma'am,
Please be quiet,
please
ma'am.
sit down and be silent. Okay, you're not complying with my order. You're ordered excluded. You are ordered excluded from the meeting for disrupting under Council Rule 12.
You've been asked to leave quietly. You're not doing it. You've been ordered removed. Leave. Okay, so in case the mics aren't picking it up and for the public at home, they're shouting on the way out, and they're quite loud. We really can't take public comment. They're shouting like that. And they're shouting as they leave. Loudly.
So for those who are waiting on the phone, again, my apologies. There are literally two people now holding up the business of the City Council of Los Angeles and all of your comment. So I apologize.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Spindler, were any of these fake names yours? Would you like to come up and speak now? You're invited to come up and speak if you'd like.
And when you reach the mic, Mr. Spindler, would you let us know which items you signed up for?
Sure. Number 9, number 10, number 11 and 12.
Okay, so we'll set the clock for 3 minutes, and you can talk about anything between 9 and 26.
Yes.
Please begin.
That's right. So number 9, fuck number 9. Disaster Assistance Trust Fund. More stealing. Good for all of you fucking thieves on number 9. Disguise something as one thing and then give the money from the federal government on the other. Number 10. What's this? We
You can
had
continue,
some-
Mr. Spindler.
I believe he called you a motherfucker. I don't know what that means.
Thanks, Mr. Spindler. Keep commenting
Yes,
on its 9 to
okay,
26.
but I just want it for the record. I am surprised, Fleeble. You don't know that. So number 10, the Relative Evolving Training Fund. Who are we training? FBI snitches. All over this building, they got nothing but a bunch of fucking FBI snitches like Curran Price and turned his own mother in. And this Marquise, that's why he shaved his beard
Get on
off.
topic or go to
Yes.
general public comment. Get on topic immediately.
Lee, there's another FBI snitch.
All right, go to your general
Number
public
fucking
comment.
11.
General public comment,
Number
please. He has 1
11.
minute left.
Why, you little goat! You won't give me a lousy minute to welcome me back to my house. This is my house. It has never been your house. I've evicted Nuri. I've evicted Kevin. I've evicted Mitch. I've evicted Ridley. And I'm going to soon evict CD9. He's the next one to get charged. Yay. And then, of course, John Lee. What is he giving to the feds that's so goddamn good that they hadn't been charged yet? Poor buddy Mitchell Englander taking all the blame. Don't you know, John, you can't trust him. I was just over there with them talking to him. They said he ain't never going to get charged. And then, of course, how about the rest of you snitches? Look at Monica. Don't she look like a snitch? You're all snitches. This is my house.
All right, your time has expired. Please have a seat. Please have a seat.
The king is returned.
Stop speaking and have a seat. All right. Are there any other members of the public who are here in chambers who wish to provide comment? Okay. Come on up, sir, if you'd. I'm sorry, I might have missed your name. I apologize. There were a number of clearly fake names that were submitted, and I might have missed yours. I apologize.
So
go right ahead and
which items had you
identify yourself, if you would, and which items you'd like to speak on.
My name is John Camara, and I'd like to speak on public comment.
So could you speak a little louder into the mic? Sorry.
My name is John Camara, and I'd like to speak on public comment.
Sure, you have a minute. Please begin.
Good morning, council members. I want to wish the new mayor, Karen Bass, good luck. We want her to reach out to the community and hope she continues to carry the torch of freedom for all of us. My first goal to coming here is to see City Hall return to its former glory days. I hope we can all make these changes together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. All right, that will close our public comment here in chambers. Let's go next to the callers who have phoned in, and let's go ahead and invite the first caller to begin.
Speaker, what items would you like to speak on?
Good morning, my President Krikorian and council members. My name is Abby King, and I'm speaking on general public comment.
You have a minute. Please begin.
Thank you. I'm speaking on behalf, I'm speaking on behalf of VICA, the Valley Industry and Commerce Association. The end of the council session is quickly approaching. The city can no longer prolong the phasing out of the city's eviction moratorium. The council owes it to the city to end these overreaching emergency housing orders. It is time housing providers throughout the city can resume normal operations and promote investments in housing. We recognize that in 2020, the city took necessary actions to slow the spread of COVID. The city has still not set clear timelines for the lifting of these temporary emergency measures that are now being abused. Continuation of these eviction moratoriums will force small business rental housing providers to exit the rental market. The already scarce affordable housing will be gone, a situation that harms everyone. For these reasons, we believe the emergency eviction moratorium that was put in place in 2020 must be lifted before the council ends session next week. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much. Next caller, please.
Next speaker, what items would you like to speak on?
Hello, Matthew Buck, California Apartment Association, general comment.
Sure, you have a minute. Please begin, Speaker.
Go right ahead, Speaker.
Okay, sorry, yeah, I said to unmute. In October, the council took the appropriate action and voted to end the COVID-related eviction moratorium and rent freeze. Since that meeting, the ordinance to lift these two measures has been delayed procedurally. The council cannot kick this can down the road anymore. Housing providers are suffering and the emergency regulations are being abused. It is wrong to delay this action any longer. It is time to do the right thing and finalize the October vote at the next council meeting. Help those who house LA and finally end these abused and overreaching regulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker.
Next speaker, what items would you like to speak on?
Hello, am I live?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. Which items would you like to speak on?
Awesome, thank you. 22, 24, 25, 26, and general public comment, please.
So you get 3 minutes for those items, followed by a minute for general. Please begin.
Thank you. Good morning, public. Krikorian, your leadership skills are no better than Martinez. At times at the last meeting, every single sleazy council person was in a meeting talking, ignoring the public. And you want respect? People are shouting because they're not being heard. Get a life, man, get some leadership skills of some kind. Item number 22, amending the contract to the Legal Aid Foundation. This is for Eviction Defense Fund and Renters Assistance Program. This contract is fine, but public, do you think this would be, the unemployment would be improved at the black community, which is the highest level of unemployment in the city with the state unemployment office? You can throw $27 million at this contract, but how about our so-called representation, sleazy Marquise Dawson, who takes the black community's unemployment office at over $1.5 million for himself. Council File 18-0957. Supported by every single other member of this sleazy council, including you, Krikorian and Bonin. Number 24, 25, LA Fire Department, $850,000 for cardiac arresters. Sounds good. Just hopefully none of that money ends up in the hands of one of you sleazy council people. Number 25, good mental health measure, take some money from the LAPD is my suggestion, and triple this amount. 26, measure to prohibit oil and gas extraction. That's great. Maybe this is one of yours on your way out the door, huh? Correct? You're supposed to be the environmental guy. You're a racist pile of crap with your 4018 motions and everything else. Why don't you escort Farrell out while you're taking your bow out? Good riddance to both of you. Farrell, get out now. I told you, we want you out. We want your resignation now. A few days isn't good enough. We're tired of people. I guess there weren't enough rich bitches and developers to support your campaign, Farrell. He's not even man enough to sit in the city council.
So you can go into general if you wish, Speaker.
Sit down like a man. Okay, thank you. The largest problem in the black community, I've said it again, is we have no representation. We're only 9% of the population, 20% of the sleazy council, 20%. We are double overrepresented. Why, public, are we 50% of the jail population, nearly 50% of the homeless population, the highest unemployment rate, again in CD8, sleazy Marquise Dawson, our representative, hijacks the black community's unemployment office, and no, we will never hear about it. Why do I keep bringing this up? You're going to jail, you little short, little round-head boy. Why? Never mind De Leon and Cedillo, public. We have a bigger problem. The black community has no representation. We're just going around in circles, along with these criminals building units at over $700,000
Thank you, Speaker.
apiece.
Next speaker, what items would you like to speak on?
Yeah, items and general public comment.
So, do you know which items you wanted to speak on?
Yeah, all of them, and general public comment.
Ah, okay. So you have 3 minutes for items 9 through 26, followed by a minute for general. Please begin.
Yeah, Daniel Gus, it's amazing how after the election, you start taking my calls again, and you're going to get a state bar complaint about that. So, item number 9, disaster assistance. Well, it's a great idea if you told us what it was for. That's the problem with the city, a lack of transparency, and that's why half of you are being cleared out. Koretz isn't getting up to controller, and there are new people who are further left of you, and I support that because at least they're going to try. They're going to try to be transparent with things like the disaster relief fund. So good riddance to all of you guys. Start bringing transparency because the new people are going to do that. Item number 15, CD4, the Public Safety Trust Fund. You know something? I'm a constituent of Nithya Raman, and she has been silent about a local lunatic who has prevented kitchen workers from getting into an El Torito, who violently attacked a teenage girl working at a Starbucks, and who then took a shit on the patio of a local sushi place and then sat down at one of the tables. So why are we allocating money for a public safety trust fund when the council member, Nithya Raman, won't actually address public safety concerns in the district? So again, why allocate money to public safety in CD4 if the council member won't even respond to questions and there's video of it? So, I mean, there you go, you're allocating money, but the council member, who I actually, supported, I voted for her, the question is why put money into something if you can't let workers get to work without being violently attacked, without having to take a crap on the patio of a local eatery, and my God, the police and fire response every time this person starts attacking people in the neighborhood, just trying to go out to eat, just trying to go out to work. 22, renters emergency assistance. It's a great idea. But if you really wanted to avoid the trouble altogether, there's so many renters in the city. Why don't you just make rent control retroactive to before the pandemic? You can still protect mom and pop landlords, So why wait until it reaches an emergency level before it actually, you start kicking in these things? Why not do the thing that will help non-homeless types of people who are on the margins of losing their homes? Why not just protect them? There's so many of them, probably the majority in the city, and make retroactive rent control before the pandemic. That would be the smart thing to do. Item number 23. So why are you waiving fees for the taxi cab industry? It is a dying industry. It is not able to compete with Lyft and Uber. So why give them a subsidy if there's simply a dying industry? Vastly more people are using rideshares, Lyft and Uber, and if the taxi cab industry can't pay these fees,
You can
why
go to
waive
general
them?
if you wish.
Yeah, okay, so general public comment, you sons of bitches. Mr. Krikorian, check out budget and finance in the general fund. You people just paid my lawyer more than $10,000 to make my lawsuit against the LAPD go away. Why? Because I sued the city and you paid $10,000 in my legal fees because there was a domestic incident at Mayor Garcetti's home and the LAPD refused to give up the computer-assisted dispatch because you're trying to protect him and his ambassadorship nomination, and the LAPD is going to be exposed because they didn't write up a police report for a domestic incident at Mayor Garcetti's home. I am going to publish that line item. You made the taxpayers pay hush money to protect Mayor Garcetti, and it was a domestic incident, and it will be exposed very soon. And that shows how corrupt the LAPD is, how political the LAPD is.
Thank you, Speaker.
Next speaker. What items would you like to speak on?
Greetings. It's Eric Previn. I'd like to give a comment on the agenda items as well as a general public comment. I'd like to veer off a little as well.
So you have 3 minutes for items 9 through 26, followed by a minute for general. Please begin.
Okay. Well, let's start squarely at 21, which I think is unimpeachably inside the range of items that you have agreed that we could speak on today. Unlike some of the other items, like the special election, not today. So that's why I'm focusing on 21. So I want a little credit for that. So Ventive Technology Incorporated, lovely outfit. I'd like Mahia, the new controller, to have a look-see at this. Maybe you need to have a meet cute with Ted Ross, the head of ITA, because whenever I see a large over $6 million uptick on a nice long percolator rip-off contract that's in the sort of TPA workers' comp space, I like to have a new guy who's hungry looking in and seeing what's going on. And while they're meeting, he and Ted Ross, and by the way, everybody loves Ted Ross, he's the head of ITA, so they can discuss as well the workaday debacle and the 14 million or more even overage that has been percolating along for another institutional ripoff. That's a good one. And finally, if while they're together on the item 21 TPA Ventive Technology Incorporated Lab, they could do a little seminar on the separation incentive program, maybe some kind of a reparations committee led by Blumenfield for making the call to flush the entire city of all the talented, smart people, except for the ones who were right. No insult to the people still here, but we lost a tremendous amount of institutional memory, to which Krikorian responds, excellent. Because who needs institutional memory as we're moving forward with all these 7 and 12 council removals? This is very, very bad. Anyway, but how can we do the data collection if we don't have this kind of a contract? Well, one thought, and this is what I was thinking about, was not to do these things sole source. Because when we do a sole source agreement, we frequently get ripped off. And I think that if you could agree with that, that would be very, very helpful. Now, one idea as well is on the complying with the orders, okay? Because whenever you have a contract, you have orders. And down at City Hall, there seems to have been a little kind of derailing of the following of the orders. And, you know, I know that that includes some adjutants from the outside. But there must be a way to move forward without such a entertaining prospect. Or let's build on it, is my thought. I was thinking, and I was in some consultations, and let's all try to be nice and funny now, because we could really have a TV show here with the two of you guys sneaking around. We couldn't be happier to have nobody looking at the items on the agenda while pontificating. This is a costume note, and I've got to be cautious because I don't want to do any kind of stuff.
I think, well, anyway, we're in general now. I was losing
No, we're
track.
not in general yet. We're still in the 3-minute bonus round. But you want to go to general? Is that what you're suggesting?
Please go ahead, Mr. Previn.
How many minutes left, Paul, so I can scale the appropriate...
You have a
size
minute.
of this
Please
thing?
begin.
All right, I only have 1 minute? All right, well, then I'm going to have to go to the jumbo round. A little disappointed that Karen Bass brought in an Olympics guy, to be honest, previously working with the Uncle Bernie component at Dianne Feinstein's office, because everybody knows, bless her heart, she's a titan with 2 N's in her name, but this woman has not been fresh recently. So he's been running a show for someone else, like Millman. But I also want to say that Recode LA that Mr. Haynes mentioned does need to be slowed down. And I appreciate that yesterday they slowed down at Metro under great pressure the Blinky Light program that they're adding, which is a billboard initiative designed to get revenue, because there is a revenue-hungry component to everybody. We have to be very cautious about that. Finally, I want you guys to know you're doing a very good job of trying to be the pontificators, but whenever you say things like, oh, well, the man in the rainbow hat, get it out of here, a little chill goes down hundreds of teenagers across America. Please, let's try to be tolerant.
Thank you.
I
Thank
know,
you, Mr. Previn.
I know you don't like silly names.
Next speaker.
Next speaker, what items would you like to speak on? Speaker with the last 4 digits, 7211. What items would you like to speak on?
General public comment, please.
And you have a minute. Please begin.
Okay, I am a very small-time property owner with 1 building in Venice. My late wife and I invested our life savings and took out an additional mortgage on our home to purchase an apartment building in Venice. I'm very sympathetic to those who are struggling to get through the initial shocks caused by COVID, but we're 3 years into this pandemic. I have a tenant who hasn't paid rent since February 2020. Much of the past due rent has been paid by rent relief, but not everything. I am currently owed more than $26,000 and rising each month. The eviction moratorium has turned people like me into providing free housing indefinitely for tenants who either can't pay or choose not to. I need to be able to collect a fair and reasonable rent for the property I've put my hard-earned money and sweat into. Please bring an end to this eviction moratorium now. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you.
Next speaker, what items would you like to speak on?
Hello, can you hear me?
We sure can. Which items would you like to speak on?
General public comment, please.
And you have a minute. Please begin.
Hello, my name is Jaime. I'm with the Coalition of Small Rental Property Owners, Dare City Council. The August 2022 LAHD report recommends, quote, the lifting of the prohibition of evictions performed in order to comply with a government agency order should take effect immediately upon the effective date of the amending ordinance. It is imperative that these situations be remedied and tenants removed from uninhabitable and unsafe spaces, unquote. 4 months later, there is still no action by the council. There is blood on the city's hands. I am beyond angry. I am forced to sustain an illegal tenancy for somebody I did not put in. Please take the recommendation of your own LAHD and stick to the sunset date of January 31st, 2023, especially for government orders. It is atrocious not to allow a government order when every other moratorium has allowed this carve-out. Councilman Krikorian and Price
Thank you.
should not
Thank you, Speaker.
Next speaker, what items would you like to speak on? Speaker with the last 4 digits, 6397. What items would you like to speak on?
Good morning. I would like to speak on...
So, Speaker, it's really hard to hear. Can you speak a little louder or closer into your microphone?
Can you hear me better now?
Yes, much better. Thank you.
Hi, Gonzalez.
So which
And
items
my
did you
daughter
want to
Sarita.
speak on?
22 in general public comment.
Sure, you have a minute. Please begin.
I'm a tenant in the city of Los Angeles along with my 2-year-old daughter, Sarita. I'm here to urge you to keep emergency protections and adopt our tenant bill of rights. As a tenant, I know what it feels to be harassed by a landlord. I was forced to move out. I was illegally locked out 5 times. I was left for days without water, gas, and electricity. My landlord removed the doors. He took the stove and the fridge. I was threatened to be killed if I didn't move out. I know what it feels to call the shelters and being told that they are out of capacity, to be told by the police and housing department that they can't do anything. I understand why the Hollywood tenant took his own life. Please, don't put more Angelinas on the street. We have enough sisters and brothers dying every day on the street. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker, what items would you like to speak on?
Morning, Fable. It's Rob Kwan. I'd like to speak to your friends on general public comment.
Sure, so you have a minute, Mr. Kwan. Please begin.
For absolutely no particular reason at all, I'd like to speak to you about the Ad Hoc Governance Reform Committee. I shouldn't have to remind you, but you're all still under the microscope right now. People are wondering, is this council going to truly break free from the worst traditions of the Nuri Martinez regime? I don't know. I might be getting some sudden pause. We shall see what the plan is, but the more I see, I start to agree with Councilmember Rodriguez that maybe you shouldn't be writing laws about how to regulate yourself. Speaking of that, one thing we can't accept is the Carezzo-Farrell-Krikorian proposal to allow elected officials to continue appointing ethics commissioners who are supposed to be their watchdogs, especially if we're empowering the commission to have greater power in writing the rules. You might not have been as shameless or as crude as Nuri, Gil, or Kevin, but all of our council members were leaning on the redistricting commissioners and trying to pull that map in their favor. Those commissioners were merely advisory in their power. What if they actually had decision-making authority?
Thank you, Mr. Kwan.
Next speaker, what items would you like to speak on? Speaker with the last 4 digits, 5442. What items would you like to speak on?
So, Speaker, if you're there, please press *6 right away. So I think we better move on to the next person unless... Yeah.
Next speaker, what items would you like to speak on? Speaker with the last 4 digits, 9049. What items would you like to speak on?
Item 26 and general comment.
You got it. So you have a minute for each. Please begin.
My name is Greg Wolf with York Engineering. Our team of experienced professional engineers evaluated the oil ordinance M&D prepared by Impact Sciences, including the errata and memorandum. We have a difference of opinion on key aspects of how the project is depicted, specifically regarding emissions quantification and health risk analysis. The M&D uses incorrect information on equipment size and age when more specific data is available. It inadequately represents health risk associated with accelerated abandonment activities and incorrectly assumes 1 abandonment per acre when there are consolidated sites with hundreds of wells. And it underestimates the impact cancer-causing particulate matter emissions from diesel combustion in the neighborhoods closest to existing well sites. Taken as a whole, potential health risk impacts are depicted in the M&D, provide the public with only part of the picture, and it's a negative contrast to actual operations at the Warren facility and other oil and gas facilities. Established methodologies by regional air districts in the state of California should be used to evaluate these impacts. We encourage the city to use these methods to accurately and fully address air quality impacts from the proposed oil ordinance. Thank you.
It sounds like you're done, Speaker, so yes, we'll move on to the next person.
Next speaker, What items would you like to speak on?
Hello. I'd like to just speak on general public comment.
Good. You have a minute. Please begin.
All right, great. So my name is Emmanuel, and have been living here in East Los Angeles for over 18 years now. I know that tenants in the LA County need stronger tenant, protections. I've been supporting for over 2 years now, basically from the start of the pandemic. I know that the protections need to be stronger and even more accessible until everyone is fully informed, not only just the tenants, but the landlords and officials. The emergency protections helped a lot of folk remain housed, and for us organizers, we were able to spread that information to support tenants in need to defend themselves on multiple occasions from abusive landlords. Honestly, why am I doing an official's job? The county should be doing the outreach. The county should be constantly checking on their tenants, but that is not the case. The tenants I've helped, they always pay their rent one way or another. A lot of them put themselves in shadow debt because rent is super expensive for the average worker and very physically and mentally exhausting, to the point that their life literally revolves around for working and for their rent. Only just rent. No food, no nothing else, just rent.
Thank you, Speaker.
So,
Next speaker, what items would you like to speak on? Speaker with the last four digits 4056. What items would you like to speak on?
General public comment, please.
Very good. You have a minute. Please begin, Speaker.
Thank you. My name is Lynn Paxton. I worked hard at my job and was able to acquire several rental properties over my lifetime. These properties' rents are now providing me my livelihood. I request that you finalize the vote to end the Los Angeles eviction moratorium. In my opinion, eviction moratoria and other similar measures are in fact a taking of the affected properties without reimbursement to the owners. Some owners, such as the gentleman who spoke earlier here today, are threatened by the loss of their properties because of the loss of rent due to the eviction moratorium. The City of Los Angeles, who established this moratorium, is not providing reimbursement for the loss of rents they brought about. Please stop this illegal taking from people who have invested their life savings in providing housing for others. Please finalize the vote to end the LA eviction moratorium.
Thank you, Speaker.
Next speaker, what items would you like to speak on? Speaker with the last four digits 5981. What items would you like to speak on?
Yes, I'd like to speak on agenda item number 26.
Very good. You have a minute.
Hello.
Please begin.
Hello, my name is Don Barkley with York Engineering. I'm a licensed professional engineer with over 30 years experience in the oil and gas production industry, all in the Los Angeles basin. The city grossly underestimated the power rating of the main equipment used in the abandonments that are discussed in the ordinance in question, the workover rig engine. The city used a power rating of 33 horsepower in its calculations, large enough to power a riding lawnmower, but not nearly powerful enough to use for abandonment operations. You're confirmed with our Warren Resources, an oil and gas production company, and several other oil and gas production companies and well servicing companies that they use engines in the range of 450 to 550 horsepower in all their abandonments. The city provided no confirmation for its very low rating. The health risks associated with abandonment must be analyzed for the cumulative effects posed by a long-term abandonment program for hundreds of wells at a consolidated drill site like that of Warren's. Our calculations show that such an abandonment program would take almost 10 years or 244 wells in order not to exceed state and local pollutants.
Thank you, Speaker.
Next speaker, what items would you like to speak on?
Hey, Speaker, are you there? How many would you like to speak?
I would like to comment on items 9 and 22 and make public comments.
Sure. So you have 1 minute for item 9, a minute for item 22, and then a minute for general. So we'll set the clock for 2 minutes, and then there'll be a beep to go into general. Okay? Please begin.
Hi, my name is Ki Trang Ho, and I'm a member of the Apartment Owners Association and the Apartment Association of Greater Los Angeles, as well as the Coalition for Small Rental Property Owners. And the real disaster in this city is your ill-conceived eviction moratorium. And I implore you to vote on the matter so that it could, and vote to end it by January 31st, as recommended by the Los Angeles Housing Department. It is disgusting what you are doing to landlords. We are providing an essential service to the public. If we didn't do our jobs, people would have to live in, even more people would have to live in tents. Why are we the only ones that are forced to provide our services for free? And you're not even covering, reimbursing us for the expenses. You think that you think that rent relief covered all of our expenses. It did not. You fail to believe that some tenants did not even comply with the orders to apply for rent relief. And meanwhile, my tenants, I had at least 5 of them take advantage of the eviction moratorium. And you could see on Facebook, they posted pictures of them traveling the world. One woman is having a giant feast in Texas. Another guy is in front of the Eiffel Tower. He went on national parks galore. And I had a tenant who complained that porch pirates stole his $450 boots that he ordered. Okay, if he is suffering and can't find work, how does he afford $450 boots? I don't even have any article of clothing that. And then as to the eviction defense fund that you're voting on, why is it that you only think that if the tenants are the victims when it comes to an eviction? We are being taken advantage of. We are being fleeced. What other industry are you forcing people to pay to stop being beaten and taken advantage of and being stolen from? You are just letting them rape us of our livelihood. There is no justice in the system. You think that you're keeping a roof over their heads, but you are actually going to make the homeless situation even more dire in Los Angeles, because all the landlords are going to go out of business. They're going to sell their properties. Then corporations are going to buy their properties, renovate them, and then just rent them for higher amounts. Or people are going to be so afraid to rent to anyone that they are going to just not rent to anyone, let it sit empty. And I am going to sell my...
Thank you, Speaker.
Next speaker, what items would you like to speak on?
Hi, I want to give general public comment.
Sure, you have a minute. Please begin.
Yes, so hello. I am with the Keep LA House Coalition, and I'm here to advocate for, honestly, stronger permanent tenant protections. We are grateful that you were able to extend the permanent protections from December 31st to January 31st. However, we did that. We advocated and we asked that for you because I'm with Eastside Leads, and I organize with a lot of tenants, and we talk to a lot of tenants. We help them with clinics. We help them respond to their unlawful detainers. We help them respond to harassment situations, inhabitability, which is really awful. And they still need stronger protections. We have been asking you for stronger protection since the beginning of the year. We've introduced the Tenant Bill of Rights with 9 policy proposals for you to adopt, and they're not adopted yet. All year, there has been so much time for you to take the steps to do so, but that's not happening.
Thank you very much.
Next speaker, what items would you like to speak on?
Hi, this is Ted Treminsky, District 14 resident, general public comment.
Sure, so you have a minute. Please begin.
Then the eviction moratorium, at least until the eviction defense program is passed and the tenant protection is adopted, as the last speaker was saying. Kaiser Permanente is an insurance provider for a large percentage of Angelinos, especially low-income Angelinos through Medi-Cal. Currently, they are unavailable to provide a bivalent COVID booster for their customers for over 2 months from now with no walk-ins available. Repeal 4118, according to LASA data, on average, less than 10% of people engaged by outreach workers through the CARE program were moved into temporary shelter. Only 62 out of the 30,000 enrolled found quote-unquote permanent housing. We still have 5 people a day dying on the street, and with this cold weather, we're likely to have more unhoused residents freeze to death. In a different direction, we want a charter amendment to be put on the ballot by the City Council to increase representation ASAP. Krikorian, you pretend like you're going out of your way to accommodate the public, but you continue to do the least in your power to remove KDL and his staffers from public office. I yield the rest of my time.
Okay, next speaker.
Next speaker, what items would you like to speak on? Speaker with the last 4 digits, 1403. What items would you like to speak on?
Okay, so speaker with the last digits 1403, press star 6 right now. Speaker, are you there? Yes, I think that's Mr. Spindler who already spoke, and the person's not telling us what they want to speak on, so we're going to move on to the next person.
Next speaker, what items would you like to speak on?
Hello? Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Which items would you like to speak on?
Great. So I would like to give general public comment, please.
Okay, so you have a minute. Please begin.
Perfect. My name is Sophia. I'm an artist and tenant organizer, born and raised in LA with the Keep LA House Coalition. I've been working with tenants every single day for the past year or two throughout the pandemic. And I know for a fact there are children and elders dying in our streets every single day because of a couple of $100s of rent due. Evictions are proven death, especially in this city. So we need stronger tenant protections. We need permanent tenant protections because everybody deserves housing to live. Being a landlord is not a job. Collecting rent is not a job. However, tenants are the ones who do the work and maintain the infrastructure of the city. There is no LA without us. So the city can afford it. Please protect Angelinos and keep them housed.
Thank you. Thank you, Speaker.
Next speaker, what items would you like to speak on?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Which items would you like to speak on?
Just public comment, please.
Sure. So you have a minute. Please begin.
Hi, I have a few items in this minute. One is electric vehicle chargers. We need to protect them. We need to make sure that there are tow-away zones, and we must make sure that street lighting is making sure that they're operational. 8 months, one charger being down is unacceptable. We need more people over there so that they can do their job. We must protect the EV chargers. Make sure that there are tow-away zones. Make sure that there is no restrictions from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Not everyone works those hours. We must make sure that those chargers are protected. Second, you have a city commissioner in CD 14 that needs to be removed, and you guys refuse to even look into that. Look into it. Number 3, if you lift the moratorium on rent, the eviction rate, you're going to have tons of homeless people. I have gone into financial crisis in the last few months just to pay my rent. I have maxed out my credit cards. I can't even get a loan to pay this month's rent. I am suffering, and if you lift it, we'll have hundreds of homeless people added to that number that we already have. Please protect the renters and make sure that we're not evicted. Thank you.
Next speaker. What items would you like to speak on?
Hello?
Hi, which items would you like to speak on?
22 and general comments.
Great, so you have a minute for each. Please begin.
So I am very concerned that you can produce millions of dollars to provide lawyers for eviction defense, and that you can vote to give LADWP 24 to 41% raise, but landlords cannot get their measly 3% that they're entitled to be able to maintain their property, to do their earthquake retrofit that we're mandated to do, and that you expect us to bear the burden and the cost of housing people and paying the price for a pandemic that we did not cause. And quite frankly, the emergency should be over. It is the whole city has opened up. People are partying in the streets, having parades. I'm sorry, are you cutting me off?
No, I was telling you can go into general public comment, but just continue if you want to talk about the same thing.
Yeah, so, I understand that COVID continues to be with us, but that is no different than the flu continuing to be with us, and we get our annual vaccination. So we should not have to pay the price for, no other industry is required to do this. And I understand that some people may feel that housing is a right, but it comes at a cost to us. It is not my responsibility to house people out of my own pocket. That is the responsibility of the government. I am not supposed to work to take care of other grown people, and that is what I am doing. And when I have to get on my knees and put in floors and work through arthritis, no one is there for me. I have been a very fair person in housing.
Thank you, Speaker.
Next speaker. What items would you like to speak on?
Hello?
Hi, we can hear you, but you're very faint. Can you speak a little louder?
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes, better. Which items would you like to speak on?
Okay, 24, and public comment, 24, I just wanted to support the cardiac monitors. We had a guy laying in front of our house we thought was dead. We couldn't get through to CD4. Imagine that. LAPD came immediately with paramedics and the fire department, revived the guy, gave him mouth-to-mouth, got him on his feet. They couldn't have been kinder, more helpful. So let's all wait for the outreach people from CD4's office to come and help people who are dying on our streets. Thank you to the fire department and the LAPD. I'm in a very high fire severity zone. We need them. As far as public comment, very curious about the Promise Zone issue, which was not covered enough, but Garcetti and his Promise Zone YPI head co-conspirator excluded the most impoverished communities, but they made sure to get the developer areas like Hollywood and East Hollywood, where Millennium, by the way, has 2 projects, designated Promise Zones. This is totally manipulated, so all the developers where the biggest development is happening in the city, all over that part of the new Promise Zone, Hollywood, get big tax breaks. Meanwhile, his criminal YPI head buddy got caught stealing close to $2 million from YPI and illegal lobbying, got fired, YPI shut down. As a Hollywood resident who kept receiving all these fancy mailers about what the Promise Funds would do to my Hollywood area, and then they ended and the person in charge of that quickly moved out of state. What the heck happened to all of the Hollywood Promise Funds that we were told about? By the way, it should have gone to the impoverished areas, and I felt horrible for those council members who were not even informed. It was behind closed doors. They vented about it but didn't make it public that Garcetti did it without their knowledge. President Obama, our beloved president, may have been duped by Garcetti and his good buddy, now criminal, former YPI head Dixon Slingerland. Why isn't anyone covering this? This is totally corrupt. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker. What items would you like to speak on?
Hi, I'd like to speak on item 22 and public comment.
Great, you have a minute for each. Please begin.
Hi, my name is Stacey Segura Bollinger. I serve on the Sherman Oaks Neighborhood Council, but everything I'm saying is my own opinion and doesn't reflect that of the Neighborhood Council. I just want to say that it is really important for the City Council to continue to protect renters and do, in fact, more to protect renters. I'm hearing these landlords crying to you, saying that they're being forced to provide housing. Let me say, landlords provide housing like scalpers provide event tickets. If they can't afford their property, then they can sell it. And then if there happens to be a flood of apartment buildings on the market, then perhaps rent will come down. So I don't appreciate this line of landlords are providing housing, are providing affordable housing. If anyone could afford this housing, you wouldn't be begging the city for permission to evict your tenants. And if you can't afford more homes than the one you live in, then you might have too many homes. And I think that there needs to be more investment in public housing. I don't know what happened to $150 million that the LA City sent back to HUD, because that could have been put towards resources, towards helping these poor, sad landlords who can't get a job to pay for the extra property that they own, because apparently they need tenants to be working to pay for their extra homes. My landlord is an absolute slumlord. He doesn't maintain anything, so this we're having to pay to provide a service is just absolute garbage. If you don't want to provide housing, then don't be a landlord. That is a chosen profession. If you've saved up to buy an apartment building, you own more homes than you have. Congratulations.
Thank you, Speaker.
Next speaker. What items would you like to speak on?
Yes, hello. This is Michelle Hope Walker. I'm concerned still about any appointments or positions that Kevin De Leon or Gil Castillo may be appointing people. They're racist against black people. Black people should not have to deal with racism by our government. Also, I wonder what's going to happen to their staff. Are they still going to stay in the government? Again, Kevin De Leon is still in position. Gil is still in position. These people are racist against black people. I thank you for all those that come and protest and speak up. I love the people, and please watch how you talk to the people, because I can tell the value of how you value black people versus other people, because I hear it even when I'm there. I see how certain people get treated a little bit better, and they're cussing and everything, but they get treated better than the black people there do. So again, appointments. Do not approve appointments of Kevin De Leon's. But he is racist against black people. He's racist against black people. Racism should not be in our LA City government.
Thank you, Speaker.
Next speaker. What items would you like to speak on? Call-in user. What items would you like to speak on? Caller, we will move on. What items would you like to speak on?
Okay, so Speaker, I think you've got other devices on. Could you turn down the volume on those and let us know which items you'd like to speak on? Are you there, Speaker? Okay, so I think that something's off here. So we're going to move on to the next speaker.
Next speaker. What items would you like to speak on? Speaker with the last four digits, 1871. What items would you like to speak on?
Just a general comment, please.
Great. So you have a minute. Please begin.
Okay, thank you. I think it would be good for LA City Council to look at environmental equity in regards to the maintenance of our urban forest and city trees in front of people's homes. The urban forestry site says that current trimming cycle is 15 years. And if your tree needs trimming before this cycle, then it's up to the individual property owner to get a permit and then spend a couple $1,000s to get your tree trimmed. And this isn't a good enough schedule for large trees which offer an actual canopy, particularly in the San Fernando Valley where we have high winds and where our trees are apt to lose branches and fall over and damage people's property. So I would like City Council to do more about improving environmental equity for people who can't afford to independently maintain the urban forest, and so we can protect our trees and help our environment in all areas, not just in wealthy areas.
Thank you, Speaker.
Mr. Council President, there are no more speakers on the virtual queue.
Okay, thank you. Members, we've taken public comment, so I'm going to close the phone lines and we'll close public comment at this time. Mr. Clerk, what items are before us now, Madam Clerk?
The council may now vote on items 9 through 25.
Okay, well, let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote on those items.
12 ayes.
All right, thank you. Let's move on to items that members have called for special discussion. Mr. Blumenfield, item 1.
Item 1, thank you so much. Colleagues, I ask for your aye vote on this item to support bringing a mobile medical van to District 3. As the city grows its unarmed response teams and street medicine teams, we want to make sure that these services are expanded across the city, including the furthest western boundaries of the city, the West San Fernando Valley. I'm fortunate to have some great community partners in my district, and the Tarzana Treatment Center is a willing partner in working with me to think outside of the box and to bring desperately needed medical and recovery services to the streets. Already, we as a city have been supporting one of these creative things, creative out-of-the-box services, supporting Tarzana Treatment Center's Housing and Recovery Project, where patients who are homeless, when they come to the emergency room at Providence Tarzana Hospital for medical treatment, and they want to stop using or they have issues that are related to homelessness, they provide a place for them to recover with a physical location outside of the hospital to recover. And Tarzana Treatment Center provides the substance use treatment and the housing navigation to help these patients transition into housing after the treatment program. This is a program that only came about because I begged the hospital to help with this, to help with the mentally ill and drug-addicted population of where the county should be stepping in, and we are woefully without the services that are needed. Begged the hospital, we put together this program, and it's been going. And since 2018, Tarzana Treatment Center's Housing and Recovery Project has screened over 1,000 unique individuals, and over 700 patients have been linked to housing services. And now, Tarzana Treatment Center will be working with us to bring much-needed medical and substance abuse treatment to the streets. They'll work hand in hand with the two MDT mental health outreach teams that I have deployed in the district. That's right, we have 2 MDT teams in the 3rd district already, and we'll be providing these services to the residents of the cabin communities. You know, we need this desperately. Just yesterday, I was walking my dog in the morning. I came across a young man who was just screaming. There was no one around, and there was nobody to call. You don't want to call the police. It's not hurting anybody. But my hope is that soon, with the Tarzana Treatment Center and this program, we'll have a medical unit to help people like him, to bring on-demand services, which is what we need. And with that, colleagues, I ask for your aye vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion on this item? Seeing none, let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Mr. Koretz.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to ask for reconsideration of item 4 to add one more recommendation to the item, and you should have recommendation item 4C at your desks at this time to add on.
Okay, let's open the roll. This is for reconsideration. Open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Okay, item 4C is being circulated. I understand it's being circulated. I'm going to recommend that we refer this item to the Rules Committee. Seeing no objection, that will be the order. Okay, Madam Clerk, what's next?
The council may vote on item 4, the motion Krikorian Price to move the Budget and Finance report and
Okay.
to refer item 4C to the Rules Committee.
All right, let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Okay, thank you. What's next before us, Madam Clerk?
Item number 26, called special by Councilmember Koretz.
Okay, let's also ask the Planning Department to come to the table on this item.
Oh, I guess there you go.
That's the one.
Good afternoon, Councilmember President Pro Tem Price and members of City Council, Vince Bertoni, Director of Planning. We're really proud today to bring forward this ordinance to prohibit oil and drilling and extraction in the city of Los Angeles. We're very grateful for the tireless advocacy of many community-based organizations, Stand LA being primary in that, as well as the very strong leadership of this city council. The instruction from the city council was to prepare this ordinance, which is a series of directives involving many city departments to regulate oil. It represents a first, narrowly focused on land use, and is meant to be a critical piece in ultimately phasing out all oil drilling in Los Angeles. This has been thoroughly reviewed by the City Planning Commission as well as the Planning and Land Use Management Committee. But for now, what I'd like to do is turn it over to our planning staff, Lillian Rubio, who will have some very focused comments on the environmental review. So thank you.
Thank you, Vince. Good afternoon, council members. Lillian Rubio with Planning. Our department, as Vince mentioned, is excited to bring forward to council today this oil and drilling ordinance for the many reasons highlighted by our director. Staff would like to clarify some of the points raised in the letter submitted to the council file this morning from Day Carter Murphy LLP on behalf of Warren Resources. The letter misstates that the MND was adopted last week at council, but that is not the case. The action on November 22nd by the City Council was to adopt Plum's recommendations to recommend adoption of the MND. This letter does not provide substantial evidence that the proposed mitigation measure for air quality constitutes a substantial revision to the MND that would warrant recirculation. Further, the letter's arguments against the assumptions made in the MND about the equipment types and duration of abandonment are unsubstantiated or inaccurate, as discussed in further detail in Planning's response to comments on the MND submitted to the council file and other supporting documentation in the administrative record. The city has not engaged in piecemealing in its analysis of environmental impacts. The ordinance on its own serves independent utility, and thus the project description of the MND is valid. This letter also includes an attachment from York Engineering dated December 1st, 2022. This includes much of the same speculating on the timing and location of wells to be abandoned. York still does not contest the conclusion that single well abandonment does not have potential to exceed regional or local thresholds. The health risks comments continue to rely on speculation associated with the timing of abandonment. While the comments provide information related to the range of horsepower for a workover rig and mud pump, it doesn't appear the letter offered any data supporting how long equipment would actually operate at their assumed maximum horsepower, which is the key factor when calculating the associated air emissions. In addition, the letter continues to assume, without evidence, the equipment cited would operate in addition to all of the equipment assumed in the MND. Moreover, Warren's claim that they will be forced to shut down in 3 years is also unsupported. The city's ordinance will also will allow for well servicing, as previously mentioned, such as the replacement of the equipment to keep existing wells operating, and will allow for maintenance if it is needed for the protection of health, safety, or the environment. It should be noted that this week, planning staff transmitted to the council file a memo from our environmental consultant, Impact Sciences, responding to a study submitted by York Engineering. York revised its assumptions for the health risk assessment in light of impact sciences, pointing out how unrealistic the original assumptions were. As such, York provided its own evidence as to why its original letter was not credible. In fact, York still offers no explanation on how they calculated their emissions, but if we use their totals, we would still not exceed the threshold. Furthermore, it does not appear that York addressed impact science's point that the model York used is for screening purposes only and does not establish that significant health risks would occur. Finally, York does not acknowledge which individuals in the city will be subject to the diesel particulate matter emissions. For those reasons, the Planning Department recommends that the City Council adopt the proposed ordinance and findings as presented to you today, as well as recommend the adoption of the M&D, associated errata, and related CEQA findings. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes our staff presentation. We have members from our city planning staff as well as departments of public works and the city attorney's offices here available for questions.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you to President Paul Krikorian for his strong leadership on all of these issues, and to his staffer, Aaron, who has been working so hard to get this and many of our big ticket items across the finish line in the final weeks of this council term. I also want to thank Councilmember O'Farrell and his staff, Starr and David. We've accomplished so much in Energy and Climate Change Committee under his leadership, and I'm forever grateful for that. This item has been a long time coming. When Mr. Bond and I introduced a fracking ban motion in 2013, we were encouraged by the Stand LA Coalition instead to focus on neighborhood oil drilling. And people were getting actively sick by living too close to these toxic industrial sites that absolutely have no place near homes and churches and other houses of worship and schools and synagogues. Certainly this was true in CD5, and I grew up within 300 feet of the Pico Doheny drill site, lived there for 20 years. My mother got 3 different cancers over the years and eventually died from cancer. I don't know whether there was a connection or not, but it certainly gives me pause. We also quickly found out that the city hadn't had an oil and gas expert for decades. We worked with then Council President Wesson to change that. We hired our petroleum administrator and began updating all the city's regulations and agreements that were decades out of date. Working with Stand LA and many of our council colleagues, we also introduced a motion to require health and safety buffer zones around drill sites, which I'm pleased to say led fairly directly to the state bill SB 1137, which Governor Newsom signed a few months ago. Stand LA has accomplished tremendous things, and as I end my council term, I want to thank them again for all their incredible hard work and dedication that got us this far. I also want to thank Councilmember Krikorian for his leadership in working with the city attorney in finding an even more effective path towards phasing out oil drilling altogether citywide, a committee motion that I was pleased to second. And thank you to our hardworking staff in the planning department, the city attorney's office, and our invaluable petroleum administrator, Erica Blyther, and her team, and our Board of Public Works, and the mayor and his team, and last but not least, my own staffer, Andy Schrader, who has worked tirelessly on this issue for nearly a decade. It's vitally important as we take this step that we work hard to ensure that the workers who currently have well-paying careers also have well-paying careers ahead of them, and I'm very supportive of that transition process. And lastly, I want to point out that water is another important factor to consider as we phase out oil drilling. We will be saving a significant amount of water that could be put to use elsewhere in the city. I think we need to think about that in this era of water scarcity that threatens the very future of Los Angeles. Toxic chemicals and the danger of exposing Angelenos to oil drilling is much too great. This effort is more than 100 years overdue, and I ask for a very strong aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Koretz, for your leadership on this issue, your passion, and your hard work. President Krikorian.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, and let me start by echoing you, Mr. President, in thanking Mr. Koretz, because I appreciate that you shared so much of the credit with so many others of us and so many people on staff who've worked so hard on this issue. But as you are concluding your time here, I think we can't overstate the importance of your leadership on all things relating to climate and the environment. And this is, one of those watershed moments where things that a few years ago seemed highly improbable at best, through persistent leadership by you, Mr. Koretz, and by many others around this horseshoe over the course of years, resulted in this historic moment that we are experiencing right now. And so I want to thank you, first of all, Mr. Koretz, for that. And I just want to underscore, because we can get caught up in a lot of, detailed language of agenda items and, sort of the wonky policy stuff. And sometimes we lose the forest for the trees. So let's think about this. In this building, the City Hall of Los Angeles, there is public art in a variety of places that are part of the architecture of this building, celebrating the oil and gas industry and its contribution to creating the Los Angeles that we know. In 1900, there were 100,000 people living in Los Angeles. By the time this building was built, there were 1 million people in Los Angeles. And part of that economic growth and development was because of the oil and gas industry at the beginning of the 20th century. But the result of that is that incredible growth contaminated countless parts of this city, countless neighborhoods, and that for generations since then, hundreds of thousands of Angelenos have had to raise their kids, go to work, prepare their meals, go to their neighborhood parks in the shadows of oil and gas production, exposed to the toxic chemicals and fumes and noise and all of the other dangerous interruptions of their health and their quality of life, in the very shadow of oil derricks. And so to most of us, that seems unthinkable. But that was the reality in much of, and still is the reality in much of Los Angeles. So when community organizers and activists, Stand LA Coalition, and so many others, faith community, people throughout this city, said, shouldn't we at least have a setback? Shouldn't we have, some distance, a buffer between human beings and the production of oil and gas? We started to get to work on that. And at some point, it became clear to me, and I think everybody else who has worked on this, that buffers are not enough. The time has come, and today is that time. Today is that day when we end oil and gas production in the city of Los Angeles. That's what's before us, members. Ending the industry, the production of these dangerous things in our city once and for all, for the first time in the city's history. When this ordinance goes into place, there will be no new oil and gas production whatsoever. The clock starts on the phase out of all existing oil and gas production everywhere in the city of Los Angeles. That's a pretty monumental step that we're taking. And I am pleased to say that the Board of Public Works just this morning voted to approve moving forward with the amortization studies. So we're going to be expediting that process as quickly as we can with regard to existing production as well. So I just want to thank everybody around this horseshoe. Mr. Harris-Dawson, for your work in Plum. Mr. Leaf, thank you for waiving this item so frequently and helping to get it before us and trying to expedite this process. We want to thank you, of course, Mr. O'Farrell, for your leadership in committee, Mr. Bonin, for your original, you were one of the original godfathers of this effort, and so we want to thank you. And everybody who has made a contribution to this, this is a big moment. And I just want us all to take a moment and realize how important this is. This may be the most important step towards environmental justice that this council has taken in recent memory. And there's more to do, but let's celebrate this success right now while we have it. And so with that, Mr. President, I'd ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. President. Let's hear next from Godfather Bonin on this matter.
As I give up one title, that's not a bad new one, I guess. Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. I want to thank Mr. Koretz and Mr. Krikorian for everything they just said, sort of laying out so beautifully the history of this and the significance of this. I want to give a shout out in particular to Mr. Krikorian because this was a long, exhausting process. I remember talking about this issue with Mr. Harris-Dawson, going door to door with him, talking to neighbors of an oil well back in 2015. This has been a long process and a frustrating one for so many. And there was a moment where Mr. Krikorian, in a committee meeting, suddenly leapfrogged this from the idea that it was in the motion to something much bigger and much more consequential. And I want to thank you for that. But I really wanted to rise to talk about how this started, because this started in a living room. This started at a soccer game. This started over a back fence. When neighbors in South LA, when neighbors in the East Valley compared notes and talked to each other about the health impacts that they and their families were feeling. This began as neighbors organizing together, and the Stand LA Coalition came as a result of that. So many organizations were and are a part of that. The main convening groups in Stand LA: Communities for a Better Environment, Physicians for Social Responsibility, Esperanza Community Housing, Holman United Methodist, Redeemer Community Partnership, Scope, and Black Women for Wellness, and the Liberty Hill Foundation. They were the conveners, but so many others signed on and became a part of it, and I want to name them. 350.org, ACT LA, the Asthma Coalition, Black Women for Wellness, Californians Against Fracking, the California Black Women's Health Foundation, Center for Biological Diversity, the Center for Environmental Health, the Climate Center, Community Coalition, Courage Campaign, Earth Justice, Food and Water Watch, EDEPSA, LA CAN, Maternal and Child Health Access, the Neighborhood Council Sustainability Alliance, NRDC, Progressive Christians Uniting, the Sierra Club, and Interfaith Power and Light. So many people. This group worked tirelessly. They went to, I think, almost every neighborhood council around the city. They spoke to churches, they spoke to neighbors, they spoke to council members, they spoke to staff members countless times for various different committees, various different initiatives over the years. And they are the real godfathers and godmothers of this. This was born from people power, organizing and saying, this is what we need. They're the ones who came forward. And because of them, not only did we do the things we've done here, not only are we doing this, but as Mr. Koretz mentioned, state legislation was changed. They've done big and amazing things, and that's what's so amazing and inspiring about Los Angeles, is that that's where real change is coming from. So I want to thank them for all the work that they did. And note that they're not in this room today. They're not in this room today because they decided to honor some of their coalition partners, and they're outside today, and they're part of the No Resignations, No Meeting Coalition. But they may not be here physically, but they are certainly here spiritually, because it's their spirit that is in the words that we're voting on today. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Bonin. Mr. O'Farrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for assembling your team today, the planning staff and City Attorney's Office. This is an expertly written ordinance that I am so happy to support, and it's very clear that the departments understand the very specific and intentional instructions of banning oil and gas extraction in the city of Los Angeles and sunsetting all current operations within 20 years. So I don't have any questions or comments, but to thank you all. I also want to give a shout out to our Petroleum Administrator Edith Blyther. Thank you so much for your work, Board of Public Works, all involved. And just to say, as the nation's second largest city, we always have an outsized opportunity to not only set a national but a global standard and precedent for how we can achieve clean energy to mitigate the effects of climate change. In Los Angeles, we're moving toward achieving a 100% carbon-free Los Angeles by 2035. No matter what we do, we know that we need to begin this work earlier rather than later and prioritize outreach, inclusion, broad participation across all sectors in Los Angeles with ratepayers and residents, individuals and organized groups. To address the climate energy crises facing our city, we're fighting on every front, approving 100% renewables, zero carbon, phasing out oil drilling, eliminating single-use plastics, executing our electric vehicle master plan, and decarbonizing buildings and city facilities. This issue is personal for me as well. We have our stories. I grew up in Oklahoma, working class household. We lived in rural areas, and on 2 occasions, my families suffered the effects of being right next to oil extraction businesses. We suffered asthma, headaches, nausea, you name it. We have, my brother, sisters, and I, and my mother, suffered just like so many Angelenos suffer coexisting with these circumstances. Just like California, Oklahoma was such an oil-producing state of the last century, and so many people live next to petroleum-intensive sites. That lived experience has always informed my work and my drive to give hope and relief to people who are existing in similar circumstances and demanding environmental justice. The ordinance that we have today is just one part of our larger transition away from dirty energy and create a Los Angeles that's more equitable, sustainable, and livable. This is a milestone in the city of Los Angeles. We are sending a clear message to big oil. The city of Los Angeles is moving into a new era with this vote today, and we will no longer tolerate oil and gas extraction. No matter where people live, everyone deserves to breathe clean air, drink uncontaminated water, and live in safe, healthy neighborhoods. So I want to again thank all the environmental advocates and partners, particularly Stand LA, for relentlessly challenging the way we think about oil extraction in LA. I want to thank Mr. Krikorian and Mr. Koretz, who exhibited strong, relentless leadership on this issue, this expertly crafted and thoughtful initiative every step of the way. And it takes real work. Mr. Krikorian, you talk about this a lot. It's great to wax poetic about ideas and unhappiness with existing circumstances that we must live in. But our staff members, working with the departments, do the work to make sure this gets done. So in addition to your staff members, Mr. Koretz and Mr. Krikorian, I want to thank Star Parsamian and David Hiron on my staff, who understand every last nuance of this new ordinance, and I can't thank them enough for their diligence and their passion and belief in this as well. And I also want to thank every Angelino who has demanded that we take action at the local level to address the climate emergency. We continue to act locally to push and enact urgent change globally. And that's how we are defining our culture here in Los Angeles. We are a city of environmentalists, and it is my hope and my belief that we will remain a city of leaders on climate change and environmental restoration and environmental justice. So with that, I also ask for an aye vote, and let's move forward with this groundbreaking milestone for the city of Los Angeles. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilmember Marquise Harris-Dawson.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair and members. I want to associate myself with all the comments that have been made today, but also take a moment of personal privilege, particularly listening to Mr. Bonin tell the story of how this started. I think some people know this, but some people don't. A member of my team, my senior advisor, Joanne Kim, who some of you know, it was her living room that this whole thing started. She and her husband had bought a house in the West Adams neighborhood. They had 2 children, and her children started getting sick, and she couldn't understand what was happening, and then noticed every day she'd leave to go to work, oil tankers parked a couple blocks from her house. And so she started to investigate it and discovered the site and hooked up with activists who had been working on it. And what Joanne brought to it was, in her living room, was she had worked at Community Coalition and done work around nuisance abatement and the excessive number of liquor stores we had in South LA. And she said to the folks who had been working on it for years, maybe not look at this as a health issue, look at it as a land use issue. Your city has land use authority. And while you're trying to prove, which is always very difficult to do, like as Mr. Koretz alluded to, you don't actually know if what's happening with my kids is caused by this oil drilling, and you may not know for generations. Why not pursue a land use strategy? And so she talked to the folks at Holman, which is just up the street, and then, you know, a few blocks east, there's the Jefferson drill site that Mr. Bonin and I worked at, and got folks together. Folks formed the Stand Coalition and got in contact with Liberty Hill, who was excited to fund the work. But it was, I stand up to call her out in particular because it was particularly courageous, because her boss at the Community Coalition at the time was considering a run for city council. And there were a lot of folks who said, you maybe don't want to piss off the oil lobby right before you go onto council. Maybe run for council first and then do that work. And she stuck to it and we stuck to it. And again, a lot of years later, we're at this place. And I am very proud of this council, because I can say when I got on the council and we had on our list of things to do this drilling ban, we saw that, you know, the trifecta of O'Farrell, Krikorian, and Koretz were already off and running with it. And so I was like, okay, guys, you know, whatever we can do to help. So it's just an example of what this city can do together. An idea can start in a living room in a, you know, nondescript neighborhood in the middle of our city, and it can result in groundbreaking legislation that I think Los Angeles will lead, you know, the state and probably the world in. I mean, in Los Angeles, we sit on the largest urban oil deposit in the world. So if Los Angeles can do it, cities around the world can do it. So I want to thank my colleagues and thank the activist and thank my colleague Joanne Kim for helping us get to this point. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Dawson, for your comments, along with members of Farrell, Bonin, Krikorian, and Koretz. You all have really been pioneers and leaders in this effort. You know, we can't leave out staff. Certainly appreciate the role played by the planning department, by the petroleum administrator, and others who have really weighed in on this policy, you know, in a way that has really just made a big difference. And as many have pointed out, the role of nonprofits and community-based organizations, their grassroots, living room leadership in really bringing about this change. I became aware of it years ago from Esperanza, that's been very active in our community, with a well site there on Fig, right by SC, that was really a noxious situation. So again, we just appreciate the leadership that emerged not just from the council, not just from staff, but from the community in addressing this issue. It certainly is going to be an important factor in health equity for our communities now and moving forward. And so with that, Madam Clerk, please call the roll. Let's open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
12 ayes on this historic vote. Give yourselves a hand. Yeah, give yourselves a hand. Because we did it. We did it. Madam Clerk, what's next on the agenda?
The council has motions for posting and referral.
Okay, those matters are posted and referred.
The desk is clear.
Okay, members, any announcements this morning? Mr. Lee.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just wanted to congratulate two schools in my district who both won city championships. One was Granada Hills Kennedy High School, who pulled off the victory with the Southern Section Division II title in the city, and also for Sierra Canyon for winning their division for the Southern Section Division II football title, and Kennedy High School winning the City Section Division II football title. Sports and academics go hand in hand in my district with the many, many victories that we've had in different academic decathlons and also in sports championships throughout the city and state. Just wanted to congratulate these two schools and tell them how proud of them we are. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Congratulations. Any other announcements, members? Councilwoman Rodriguez.
Yeah, I decided to call someone out this morning, and I just want to say happy birthday, Josh Yeager. Since John didn't do it, I just thought I should do it.
Yeah, many happy returns. Any other announcements, members? Okay, any adjourning motions? Seeing none, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Others did too, that I want to warn you about.
Known as a smishing scam, the fraud asks people to activate their debit card for the program. A front for obtaining